music, I think there's so many aspects to music. I mean, we can talk about, let's say, choirs or then solo singers, right? But then there's also the instrumental part to it, and then the electronic/digital aspects of it. So which parts are the ones that you use and love most, and how do you use them, or do they have different meanings?
Yeah, so I often like to think of it in terms of vibration and frequency, because we do get, when we get into music, then we go into genres, and then we go into genres, it's like, what kind of music do you make? I find that quite a limiting question when people are like, oh, what kind of music do you like listening to? You must listen to a lot of music. And for me, the biggest inspiration is the birds singing, or when I went to the Amazon rainforest and I'm hearing birds and creatures that I couldn't comprehend how they were making these sounds, but I would try and respond. So in terms of music, I see my voice as a synthesizer. I see, especially with the beatboxing and making all these sounds and rhythms that make people dance and move. It's kind of strange to me that the voice is such a versatile instrument, and so many people, as I say, get stuck in blah, blah, blah as the only way that they use their voice. Even when I'm speaking, I'm always aware that there's different tones, there's different dynamics. And in that sense, you know, I think before I was a beatboxer, I started playing around with production and making beats on my computer. It was quite a traumatic journey, because I came from a low-income house and everything was stolen or cracked software, which led to a virus, which led to me losing 200 instrumentals that I'd made over years. And it took me years to get back into that. I now enjoy production again. I've got back into making beats digitally. And I guess it's the process of feeling or thinking in music that is really interesting to me. So, for example, when I go on stage, I love to improvise, and people say, how'd you do that? How do you think so fast? And I'm like, no, not thinking, just allowing it to come through. So yeah, and that does take me back to that concept of frequency and vibration. When someone is using their voice to speak or to sing or to express themselves, they are bringing their personal vibration. And this is why when I work with my clients and I do my coaching with vocal alchemy, it's so important to, when people come to me like, oh yeah, I'm thinking about talking this and talking that. I'm like, when's the last time you sung? When's the last time you just hummed or toned or meditated with your voice? And people are like, wow, I really do think of it in terms of just speaking. And even as I speak, or even as you speak, or as anyone speaks, the vibration behind what people are saying is often more important than the actual words themselves. You can tell when someone's lying through their teeth. You can tell when somebody's talking about something they love and they're passionate about. So it all comes down to that for me. And that's what I like to embody with my performances and with my music, is the frequency that's coming through. Yeah.
That's probably what's coming through, because I feel this is already, I mean, I call it music now. I think no longer conversations. It's you're saying allowing it to come through. And this is very, I mean, I have my own personal story with that, with voice and speaking. I mean, you're saying there's people who just stay in the blah, blah, blah. And with that, you mean speaking, right? Not going into...
Technically, yes, but it's the difference between like a rehearsed, this is who I am to the world and who I need to be, and this is my mask, as opposed to what do I feel right now? What's coming through right now? What's alive in me? What's alive in the room, in the other people? So I've always had this dream of like 100,000 people making tones at the same time, and what that would do for the world. Yeah. So one day, I guess dreams are our responsibility. So that's something that I would like to see in the world and to be part of that orchestration. But yeah, speaking is very powerful. But when we are speaking, are we speaking our own truth? Are we speaking what our teachers or our parents told us in limitations? Especially when I'm helping people to open up their expression, then you can usually come back to a point where an innocent child made a sound that was true to them, and someone said, shut up, be quiet. I've worked so hard today, can you just be quiet? And what most parents and adults don't think about is, I think we can all go back to a memory where someone said, shut up, and that feeling in the belly, or it could be in the heart or in the throat, that constriction becomes so strong that that being doesn't want to feel it again and then shuts themselves off from expression. So this is where you get people, I think is the analogy that I'd like to make in this moment is if you have a huge piano and you just have 3 or 4 notes that you play, and it's just like, what about all the other expression? So
what a beautiful picture and metaphor. There's so many things I would like to go deeper into.